Xbox Series X. We'll be doing the whole units from going forward, at least for the current clients I have. So let me switch you to microscope and show you what's going on. And we have a bit of a dorked up HDMI port here. These things are pretty structurally sound, so I'm not expecting like pad damage or anything, so it's probably going to be a pretty standard removal and replacement, but we'll see once we get in there. I had to disassemble the unit, and then we'll go from there. Okay, we're finally disassembled. These things are always an adventure to take apart, not the funnest console to disassemble, but we're getting pretty used to them at this point. We're set up to do removal of the port. We will be low melting these anchors here, and probably the visible pins on the other side. But before I do that, I need to set up my equipment, and we will throw up our temperatures, expected temperatures for this job, while I'm doing that. Okay, switch you back to microscope. Those temperatures were brought to you by the Amazon affiliate links in the description. If you click on any of those links and buy anything during that session, it doesn't even have to be one of those pieces of equipment. A small portion of that will go to supporting the channel and will not cost you an extra dime. Much appreciated. We're going to low melt these anchor points at the stated temperatures. Flip the board. Okay, we're going to low melt these pins because I don't want to have to worry about pulling pads while we're worried about breaking that plastic connector or plastic connection that keeps these makes these ports very difficult to pull. There's also some hidden joints on these ports. So with these low melted, they'll be wetted long before everything else is, and very low chance of pulling pads in that situation. Sure, get nice and under every pin. See that yellow dot right there? That is the problematic part. I've heard of some guys saying they just stick their X-Acto in there and break it before, but I don't see a whole lot of room to get my X-Acto in. Yeah, I don't see how they're doing that. Don't think I can do it with my tools, so we'll just go with our standard pull. So I am going to put some weight on this board, some counterweight, using a block of aluminum, but in order to do that, I want to put down something under that block of aluminum so it's not just raking off parts. So this is silicone mat. I'm going to lock these hemostats onto the boards so we don't have to worry about slippage or anything coming off. That's not going anywhere. Do I want to protect this connector? I really had a problem burning it, but okay. I think we are ready for removal. This will take patience and a little bit of time. First going to concentrate on these anchor points and the pins, and then we'll move in, once the temperature of the board has risen enough, we'll move in on the hidden anchors, which are around this area. I want to see these pins wet first thing. Because that is the area we really don't want to damage. Concentrating in on these anchor points. Hope that the low melt will help in that area. Sometimes helps to focus a little bit in these areas. So seeing some wetting, signs of wetting. Start doing a little bit of lift. Wiggling a little bit. There we go. Nice clean pull. Set up and do some cleaning. I want to add some low melt to these anchors right here. These are the hidden joints. It's these guys here and this that makes everything challenging on these particular ports. I mean, they're stout ports. I mean, you're rarely ever going to get, you know, pull pads unless you just do a bad pull. Just add some low melt here so we can wick. Okay, our anchors. And now we'll do our pads. Let it boil and just glide across. Not scrubbing. This is not, you know, steel wool. I have begun to attempt to pre-tin these ports. I think it does help with the placement a little bit, or at least the soldering down on the pins anyway. They're not so, I mean, they were adequate before, but I think it just makes it a little bit better. We want better than adequate usually, if we can get it. We'll worry about the bridges later. First thing I want to get flowed in is these pins. Or get wetted anyway. Then we'll worry about the hidden anchors. We're using the same method as we do in the Nintendo Switch. Rapid air movement. Air is never in one place long enough to burn anything. We're using the board. We're trying to accumulate enough heat on the board to wet the solder rather than using direct heat. It will accumulate enough heat. Just takes a little bit of time and patience. A little bit of endurance on the arm too. Okay, starting to see some evidence of wetting here. Gotta make sure it's not just the pins wetting, but the pads. Okay, now we're going to start getting in this area of the hidden anchors. You don't want to neglect the pins, but those hidden anchors need to wet too. Concentrate back in on these pins a bit and hold her down. Now we need to wait for it drying. This board is very hot right now, so it may take a minute. Okay. We're going to try a little bit of a nudge test, real gentle, but it shouldn't give us any play if these anchors are down. That's pretty good. I'm not getting any play, so that's good. Alright, make sure they are solid. Everyone soldered. And not a single one moving. That's good. Alright, let's solder down these anchor points. A little bit of solder on there. Stick it right in there. Actually, those two pins under the J2 are a little bit high, so we'll see if we can flatten those out. Right. Steady as we can be here. check and see. Yeah, we did. They feel solid now. Pretty good. Alright, let's have another look here. Make sure everybody is down and solid. Looking very solid. Okay. I will clean up some more off screen and then we're going to put it together and do a test. Okay, and as you can see, we're all back together and we are displaying on the capture card. So everything appears to be good to go. Okay, and that's really it for this video. In summary, just a standard HDMI replacement on a Xbox Series X. Still one of the more challenging repairs that we do, simply because of the amount of heat it takes to rework those boards. It gets worse if you have to deal with the backlight, or I'm sorry, the boost driver IC or the retimer. These things take considerably more heat than their predecessors, so just prepare for that. I've been considering getting a preheater for those jobs. But anyway, that's all I have for you on this one. I appreciate your channel support. I appreciate you watching, and we'll see you next time.